How concerned are you about the rumblings over your leadership?
We're all disappointed with the results from last night. We had a pandemic election that really produced no change. It cost the country $600 million and further divided this country. So we're going to work together to undertake what went right, what went wrong, and learn and build trust with Canadians. We got closer in a lot of parts of the country, but not close enough. Next time we will, and we have to be ready because Mr. Trudeau has already threatened another election in 18 months if he didn't get his way in this one.
Follow-up.
How worried are you about your role as the leader in this party?
I'm the leader of the party that founded this great country, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the gains we made last night for the first time in a decade back in Newfoundland and Labrador. Some new members of our caucus from across the country, some new generation of talent, and we're closer in dozens upon dozens of ridings, but not close enough. I want to earn that trust of Canadians, and that's why we're going to work tirelessly to examine what went right, what went wrong, to make sure that we form a government that has all Canadians part of a Conservative government, and we're going to need that because we could be back in an election in another 18 months.
We have to gain the confidence of younger Canadians in the next election, and maybe Mr. Trudeau wants to call an election in another 18 months, and we need to be ready. I'm disappointed by the results. We all are. But we need to take lessons to prepare for victory next time.
Good afternoon, Mr. O'Toole. Stephanie Taylor with the Canadian Press. You want to stay on as leader, but how do you know you have the support of your caucus to remain in that position? Will you trigger a leadership review?
We are already starting to look at what went right, what went wrong in this election. I'm clearly disappointed. All of our members are disappointed that it's status quo after a pandemic election that divided the country and got us no further ahead. So we've started a process that will involve all parts of the party to make sure we learn those lessons to win the trust next time. I'm very, very proud of the gains we made, but we didn't get far enough. We will next time.
In French, on your leadership, please, Mr. O'Toole. I'm very proud of our team, and we need to review our campaign, each aspect of it, to improve for the next time. But we need to gain the trust of Canadians next time. As leader, I will work with our caucus members and party members to learn lessons for the next time.
There were clear discrepancies on your stances on conscience rights, firearms policy, among other things, from what you said and promised during your leadership race and the campaign you just ran. Do you take any responsibility for this, and do you think it cost you trust with Canadians?
Well, as you know, on the first full day of the campaign, in this very studio that we had ready, I launched Canada's Recovery Plan. That's what we ran on in the campaign. It did get us gains in some parts of the country, but we also didn't win the trust to a level we needed in parts of the GTA, some parts of the country that we have to do better. That's why we're going to undertake a review to make sure we learn the lessons. That's what a leader does. Make sure we are prepared next time. The 36 days, I did get to meet more and more Canadians. They got to see our party and that we're there for Canadians. And I'm very confident that we will be there for a victory next time.
Prochaine question.
Oui, bonjour, Laurence
Next
Parker de
question.
Radio-Canada. Andrew Scheer
in 2019 got won more seats than you. And he stepped down and you want to stay. How is this different from Mr. Scheer 2 years ago? We are all disappointed by the results. We got a few gains, but we also suffered losses. And we have to review our campaign for the next time. And as leader, I've just begun a process for that, and we will determine the scope of the review over the next days, but we must be united for our fight against COVID-19 and the economic recovery after.
We're all disappointed by the results. We had some gains in some parts of the country. We also had some losses, and we have to make sure we examine what went right and what went wrong. And we're going to be involving many people in that process over the coming days as we finalize the process for that review. But we have to work together in this COVID-19 crisis, but also in the long term to win the trust of more Canadians so that they have an economic recovery post-COVID.